Hello, everyone. My guest today is Ketan Anjaria. He is the founder and CEO of a company called Hireclub.com. He loves helping people succeed in their careers and turned a Facebook group into a startup that's increased salaries by over $2 million for his customers. All right, Ketan, you ready to take us to the top?
Let's do it.
All right. So this started off as a Facebook group, it sounds like. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, in 2011, I was running a design agency, and I had clients like Microsoft, Adobe, and Twitter. And I always realized it was really hard to hire people, and finding good people to hire, or even getting a job yourself. And I felt like normal ways of doing it weren't working. So we started this Facebook group, and we had a couple of simple rules. I invited 25 of my friends. The first rule of Hireclub was don't talk about Hireclub, right? From that very first day, we had a first interview set up. And that first week, we had our first hire. And I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. And then eventually, I kind of just let it grow on its own. And this is when people weren't really doing Facebook communities or groups. I was just doing it organically. Really, I just needed people to hire. So for these projects I was working on. And then around 2017, we hit 10,000 people in the group. And I was like, oh, that's cool. We can do something with this. And we had helped, like, at that point, hundreds of people find jobs, whether it was contract or full-time. And the community was so amazing. We ended up raising a crowd equity round, and our community invested our first $50,000 into building the company as it is today. So it literally is extremely community-driven. It's very diverse. It's very open. And it's a place where people are going to really talk about the real struggles they have at work.
So diving into this, the group today on Facebook is 32,600 strong. I want to learn more about that first, but just to be clear, your first, the website today is hireclub.com. The first time you essentially placed a job into a business, a person into a company full-time was in 2000 and what?
2011.
2011. Okay. And did you do that for free or did you monetize right off the bat?
Straight for free. It was just a community thing.
Okay. Talk to me about monetization.
So, for a long time we talked about monetization, and there was a dearth of products in the early 2010s talking about using referrals to monetize, right? Oh, if you get a friend referred in, how do you can make money from that, right? Because companies will pay $20K or something for a hire, 20%, and you can get a cut of that for referral. But the problem is the incentives are not always really aligned, right? Mm-hmm. You'll have a lot of people making referrals, but the quality is there. And we experimented with different monetization models, but our first monetization model was really interesting. I'm a photographer by trade. That's what I went to college for. And we said, hey, let's do headshots. Let's offer people headshots. They can book a service. And a headshot is a great way to get noticed better, right? And then obviously we know professional look is really important. And we launched our headshots, and we had $5,000 in sales in a month. And I was like, whoa, that's incredible.
Hold on. So just to be clear, how are you doing? You were having to send a photographer around the world to meet these people to take headshots?
No, this was local. This was only in San Francisco to start. We always started locally, right? And we had just built up this community of 10,000 people. And we're like, hey, look, people are going to need headshots. It's something I'm good at and something enjoyable. And our headshots are fun. We had a DJ. We brought mimosas. We would actually bring clothing that you could try on to style out. We partnered with jewelry designers and makeup artists so they could bring their stuff and you can get all kitted out. And it wasn't necessarily cheap, but it was a lot more affordable than hiring your own, right? Okay. And what it really did is every marketing image you see right now on our website is typically from one of our members. It's their headshot that they purchase. So it's sort of two things. It's a great way to test out revenue. And two, it's a great way to show off our community, which ended up being this really diverse, awesome, welcoming community. Obviously, headshots don't scale, right? You're in person, and COVID, that obviously changes things as well. And so what we started noticing and trying to play the monetization is that we were getting people referrals really easily, right? Because of the trust in the group and the large size of the group and the people in the group. A lot of people were founders. A lot of people were people who were hiring a lot. It was easy to get referrals, but they would get stopped at the first interview. And what I started realizing is what really is the problem with hiring, right? What is the problem with hiring? Because there's a lot of talented people. There's a lot of people that want to hire. What is the actual problem? And what we started doing, we started coaching the clients as they were getting referrals. We would look at their resume. We would talk about, hey, this is the things you should bring up during this interview. If they're a designer, I could help them point out on their profile stuff. And what we realized is people needed coaching support. And that's really what made the difference, right? If I just give you a referral.
Ketan, just because that is now, when I go to pricing, say that is your model today, $299 a month at a high, all the way down to $119 a month at a low, and they're paying for minutes of coaching calls per month. Is that right?
Yep. It works a lot like a cell phone plan. You're getting X
so
amount
what would you say, just so we can get a sweet spot and then we can go deeper on the sweet spot, what would you say sort of the average person looking for a job that uses you guys is paying you per month across these plans? Just like an average.
So our average is around the middle plan, the $179 a month.
Okay, fair enough.
Right,
now, the obvious question here is if you're trying to build a recurring model and your coaching is successful, they pay you to coach them and they get a job, then they cancel you because they don't need coaching anymore. So do you have serious retention issues?
So a couple things. One, if I find someone a job at a company called Hireclub, I have done my work. That's incredible. Right?
You don't get paid for the placement though, right?
We don't. We're not doing that now. Because, well, again, incentive alignment, right? Who is my customer? If the company is paying me, the company is my customer, and my goal is to get them what they want. If the customer is paying me, then they are my goal to get them what they want, right? If I want to build something that's really going to make an impact on people's lives and be able to help them succeed, they have to be my customer.
The problem is they're not your customer if you're successful. If your tool works, they're then not your customer. So how do you solve that?
Here's the interesting thing. There are cases, yes, where people do leave after they find success. I'm completely happy with that, right? Like Tinder's a perfect example. Tinder, people break up or get into relationships all the time after meeting on dating apps. Doesn't mean the dating app is not valuable, right? Or can create revenue, right? It's the same similar type of model. What we've actually seen, though, as we grew, is we went from coaching just to help you find a job to more career growth coaching. Right? So now what's really interesting, our top customers, a lot of them are founders. A lot of them have been with us for 2+ years because now they have an executive coach, a business coach, someone who can help them work through all the issues that you have as a founder and running a business and all that stress that entails. And what's really interesting, our highest LTV is over $5,000. So people have been on the platform for 2+ years, paying $300 a month, right? And really spending a lot of time working with their coach.
So Ketan, your first customer on this sort of plan was, it sounds like about 2.5 years ago. Is that right?
We launched June of 2018.
This plan you launched June 2018?
The original lower price plan we launched June of 2018, yeah.
Yeah, because you had the community back to 2011.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So just to circle this story out, right? So from 2011 to 2018, you were making money in the community selling headshots.
No, let me back up the story a little bit. So from 2011 is when we started the group. We didn't even incorporate till 2017. I didn't even try to monetize until 2017. I actually had different startups I was working on. There was a nightlife startup I was working on. I was working on a business app startup that.
Okay, I understand. Now this was a side gig.
It was just like a thing I was doing to help people, and I love doing it. Right.
I see.
It was really it was really a community. Right.
Yeah, I see. So you signed people up starting in 2017. You got your first sign up on this about 2.5 years ago. And how many customers do you now have using the tool today?
In terms of total customers or active customers, I think we have over 200.
Yeah, active, meaning they're currently paying you today, like this month.
Yeah, it's over 200.
Okay. And how many have you had come through and pay you at least once over the past 2-3 years?
I would say it's something like 1,100, 1,200 right now.
12. Interesting. Okay. Now the nice thing here, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm looking at your Crunchbase profile. You haven't raised any capital for this, correct?
We did. We actually ended up, so a really interesting thing happened to us is the reason we incorporated was in 2017, a friend of mine said, hey, there's this new reality TV show called Meet the Drapers. Do you want to be on it? And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? 1 week later, I'm being filmed in front of, these cameras with the Draper family, Tim Draper, Jesse Draper, and Bill Draper, who are very, well-known VCs. And I pitched Hireclub for the first time. And it was run on Republic, which is a crowd equity campaign platform that is by the founders of AngelList. And we ended up raising our first capital through that, which our community invested. We had 309 investors from that, ended up raising our first $50K. And then after that, about a year later, we started raising from angels, and we raised about $500K so far.
Got it. So to date, you've raised $550K.
No, $500K total.
Okay, so there was $50K from the first tranche people, and then there was another $500K from angels.
Yeah.
So that would be $550,000 total.
Yeah.
Not $500,000 total.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So 550,000 total raised today. That's great. Now you've got a fairly large team, right? There is 31 people. Is that right? Or how many are on the team today?
Oh, no. The team is only 4 of us.
I was going to say I'm backing into your revenue here because you're saying 200 customers at $179 a month. You're doing about 35 grand a month in revenue, right?
Yeah, but where are you getting the 31 number from?
LinkedIn.
So here's how our platform works. We have career coaches who are essentially what we call providers, right? We have over 60 of them. And some of them link on LinkedIn that they are part of Hireclub. So I think LinkedIn says that number, but employees, we only have 4.
I see. Okay.
Right.
And is that right though, in terms of scale today? You're doing about $35,000 a month in revenue?
No, because we've added a new plan, especially because of COVID. We want to recognize what people are going through, and we added what we call a standby plan. So there's about 50 people right now, what I would say is on the $20 a month plan. And the standby plan, what that is like, they can keep their minutes, they can continue doing their coaching, but they're not being charged further in terms of getting new minutes. So they're just paying $20 a month to continue their relationship with the coach.
Okay. And got it. So revenue is a little lower than that. Then it's like 150 customers at 180 a month. So you're doing like, what is that, $25,000 a month, something like that?
Exactly.
I see. Well, then this must be profitable. I mean, 4 people. This is a profitable company.
We are like right at the edge there. We're skirting there, right? Because there are costs, right? Like we had an office that we got a lease for, and
how much was that?
About $5 grand a month.
Yeah, you can cancel that though now, right?
No, long story short, I can't. But there's a different longer story there.
You're locked in for a decade, like most triple net leases, right?
Yeah. I'm only locked in for a year, which is fine. But we also, one thing we do that's really important is every customer connects through us through text messaging. And what we found is we're using Twilio, and Twilio is not cheap. The Twilios are probably our biggest expense. We love them. It's fantastic software, but it's expensive. And what we do is we create a transparent channel where you can text your coach and your coach can text you, but you don't know each other's numbers, right? That creates a lot of safety. It also creates a lot of trust. And what can happen is then when you sign up and you start working with a coach, it's immediate conversation. You don't have to go to some app. You don't have to download anything. And customers love it because what it is, it's very transparent. And I think a lot of people talk about—
how do the coaches get paid?
They get paid based on how many minutes customer signed up for.
From you?
So from us. So what happens is we charge X amount for the plans, and then they get paid $70 an hour or 70% of whatever we're charging, whatever is lower.
So each month, what is your expense that you have to pay out to coaches? Or this must be like 10, 15 grand, something big, right?
It varies because if the coach did not use all their minutes for that client for the month, and then there's no charge, right? Right. It varies. It's anywhere from 5 to 20K, depending on the usage. It's a very flexible billing system.
Yeah, it's good. And you've given people the ability to sort of work right through your platform. You've created a bunch of jobs, which is nice, or some side incomes. Walk me through your acquisition here. We've got about 3 minutes left in the show. So how do you get customers? Like, what is your CAC to land a new customer?
So here's what's interesting. We don't do any ads.
Well, there are other forms of CAC besides advertising.
Right. So majority is our Facebook community and our mailing list, right? We focus on those things. We were doing events, obviously, before COVID, right? We do live streams as well that work really well. So every week, one of our coaches does a live stream with me. We talk about a particular topic, whether it's like career success during COVID, how to make a resume, how to negotiate salary, et cetera, right? And those live streams actually do a lot because you get to meet the coaches, you get to see what they're like. But it's really a lot for the community. I'll post content in the community. Other companies will post jobs in the community. We'll have amazing discussions about everything from gender bias to racism to homework that people give at companies for getting hiring. And that creates a level of trust that I think other companies don't have. So, the CAC is really what I would say in community marketing, right? Community outreach.
And how many engineers are on the team of 4?
3.
Oh, it's 3 engineers. So it's mainly engineer. Are you an engineer?
Yes, I'm an engineer. That's why. Yeah.
Okay. So you include yourself in the 4 total number and the 3 engineer number.
Yep.
Yeah. Fascinating. Okay. So what's next for you guys? Is it more customers or higher price point or what?
So one of the things we're trying to figure out is an expansion of the market. So you brought up a good point earlier. with something called Hireclub, and let's say you want to get wellness coaching, or you want to get fitness coaching, or you want to get nutrition coaching, right? Or you want to have business coaching that's not necessarily related to hiring, right? What we're actually working on with our platform is letting any kind of coach, right? Regardless of what it is, right? You could do a coaching session on how to cook certain meals, right? And what we're trying to do is, because everyone's isolated and their income is being affected, we think we can build a platform where anyone can teach others amazing things in person, right? Or at least real-time synchronous learning, right? Because that's essentially what we built in our code base, right? We allow, right now, it's one vertical, which is career, right? But we actually think there's a lot more potential to offer a lot more verticals, because it's not just career that you want. So if you really want to think about it, and we want to create that on a subscription level, right? So I could have like in the last week, I've had a call with my nutritionist, I've had a call with my therapist, and I had a call with my career coach.
Got it. So coaching at scale is certainly an exciting vision. We obviously are rooting for you there. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, Ketan, favorite business book.
Ooh, I don't know if I have a favorite business book.
We'll skip it. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Mikkel from Zendesk.
All right, good one. Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building a business besides yourself or besides your own?
100% Stripe.
Stripe. Number 4, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
Not enough.
What's the number?
It's probably around 6.
6, okay, that's not horrible. And what's your situation though? Married, single, kiddos?
I'm divorced. My daughter is 21 and doing her gap year now.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so 1 kiddo, and how old are you?
I'm 43.
43. All right, take us home here. What's something you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Your past is not your present, and you should always just go for it.
Guys, there you have it. Ketan building Hireclub. Started in 2011 as a side project, built this Facebook up today to over 30,000 people strong, just adding value. And as a side effect, in 2017, launched a tool that helps people looking for jobs get sort of job coaching and consulting, but they even stay with the firm even after they found a job. Founders do this to have someone to talk to. He has an army of coaches that help them out. They have about 150 folks actively paying $180 a month for the platform. So call it $25,000, $26,000 a month in revenue, all organic onboarding via the Facebook group and their email list as he looks to scale. $550,000 raised to date and about to get into many more verticals of coaching and consulting. Ketan, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it, and the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.